Mount Emei stands tall in China's Sichuan province. It's a place of breathtaking beauty, a sacred peak revered by Buddhists for centuries. Pilgrims climb its winding paths, seeking enlightenment among ancient temples and serene monasteries. But this mountain holds a secret. It's a place where the veil between our world and another feels thin. Deep within its misty forests, far from the well-trodden trails, lies an area whispered about in hushed tones. They call it the vile Vortex, a place where the laws of nature seem to bend, where reality itself becomes unstable. It's a destination not found on any tourist map, a mystery that draws in the curious and the brave. The reputation of Mount Emei is twofold. On one hand, it is a beacon of peace and spiritual awakening. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, celebrated for its rich biodiversity and profound cultural significance. But on the other hand, it harbors a darker, more unsettling legend. Stories passed down through generations speak of a hidden zone, a place of profound disorientation and unexplained phenomena. This isn't just campfire folklore, these are persistent accounts of strange energy of people who enter the vortex and emerge changed or sometimes don't emerge at all. The mountain's serene beauty masks a chilling enigma, a puzzle that modern science and ancient belief have both struggled to solve. For centuries, local villagers have warned travelers to stay clear of this specific region. They describe a palpable heaviness in the air, a feeling of being watched by unseen eyes. The very landscape seems designed to confuse, with shifting fogs and an eerie silence that swallows all sound. The vortex is said to be a place that doesn't want to be found, actively repelling those who seek it. It's a paradox, a place of immense spiritual power that also seems to harbor a dangerous, almost malevolent energy. This duality is what makes Mount Emei so compelling. It's a place of light and shadow, where every step toward discovery feels like a step into the unknown. My mission, and the mission of anyone who dares to look closer, is to peel back the layers of this mystery. We journey to places like this, not just for adventure, but for answers. What is really happening on the slopes of Mount Emei? Is it a geological anomaly, a trick of the mind, or something else entirely? The stories are too consistent, the experience is too similar to be dismissed outright. We have to follow the trail of whispers, venture into the heart of the mist, and confront the unsettling truth that some places on Earth are still profoundly and perhaps permanently mysterious. The vile vortex awaits, and its secrets are waiting to be uncovered. The year was 1990. A group of experienced hikers set out to explore the lesser-known regions of Mount Emei. They were well-equipped and knowledgeable about the terrain. They were not looking for trouble. They were simply seeking the raw, untamed beauty of the mountain, far from the crowds. But as they ventured deeper into a particularly dense and misty forest, something began to go wrong. The air grew thick and heavy, charged with an unseen energy. A wave of nausea swept over the group, a sudden and debilitating sickness that had no apparent cause. It was more than just altitude sickness. It was a deep, gut-wrenching wrongness that seemed to emanate from the very ground beneath their feet. Their physical discomfort was just the beginning. A profound sense of disorientation set in. Even the most seasoned navigators in the group felt lost, their internal sense of direction completely scrambled. The familiar landscape around them began to feel alien, as if the trees and rocks were subtly rearranging themselves. They reported feeling a strange mental fog, an inability to think clearly or make rational decisions. It was as if the forest itself was actively trying to confuse them, to lead them astray from their path. The hikers, once confident and capable, were reduced to a state of bewildered panic, stumbling through the woods with no clear sense of where they were going. Then came the most unsettling phenomenon, the loss of time. They would check their watches, only to look again moments later and find that hours had inexplicably passed. Or conversely, they would hike for what felt like an entire afternoon, only to discover that a mere 10 minutes had elapsed. These time lapses were jarring and deeply disturbing, fracturing their perception of reality. The seamless flow of moments was broken, replaced by a disjointed and frightening experience. It was as if they had stepped into a pocket of the world where time did not behave as it should, a place operating under a different set of rules that they could not comprehend. When the surviving members of the group finally stumbled out of the forest, they were exhausted, sick, and profoundly shaken. Their accounts were fragmented and filled with a sense of dreamlike horror. They spoke of a place that felt alive, a place that had invaded their minds and tampered with their senses. They had entered the vile vortex and had barely escaped with their lives and their sanity. Their harrowing experience in 1990 became a cornerstone of the mountain's modern legend, a chilling testament to the strange power lurking in the mists of Mount Emei. Their story was a warning to all who would follow. In our modern world, we place immense faith in our technology. We rely on it to guide us, to communicate for us, and to document our world. But what happens when that technology inexplicably fails? This is one of the most consistent and unnerving elements of the Mount Emei Vortex legend. Hikers and explorers who have ventured into the zone report a complete and total breakdown of their equipment. Compasses, the most fundamental tool for navigation, become useless. Instead of pointing north, the needles spin wildly, rotating in erratic circles as if possessed by an unseen force. They are not simply inaccurate, they are actively chaotic, offering no guidance whatsoever. This technological plague extends beyond simple magnetic tools. Digital compasses on smartphones and GPS devices fare no better, their screens flashing error messages or freezing completely. It's as if the very energy of the area interferes with electronic circuits. Cameras, which should be our reliable eyes, also begin to glitch. Photographers have reported their digital cameras refusing to turn on, their batteries draining in an instant despite being fully charged just moments before. Those who manage to take a picture often find the results are not what they saw. The images come back distorted, filled with strange light anomalies, blurs, or sections that are inexplicably blacked out. The phenomenon of malfunctioning equipment adds a terrifying layer to the experience. It strips away the modern explorer's safety net, leaving them utterly vulnerable. Without a compass, you are lost. Without a camera, you have no proof. Without a phone, you cannot call for help. This technological failure forces a confrontation with the raw, untamed power of the environment. You are left with only your own senses, which, as the 1990 hikers discovered, are also unreliable within the vortex. The feeling of isolation is absolute, a chilling reminder that you are completely at the mercy of this strange and unpredictable place. These equipment failures have been documented time and time again, forming a clear pattern that cannot be easily dismissed as coincidence or user error. It points to a powerful, localized force at play. Scientists might suggest a strong electromagnetic field, but the sheer variety of malfunctions, affecting everything from magnetic needles to sophisticated digital electronics, is puzzling. It's a technological dead zone, a place where the rules of physics that we depend on seem to be suspended. For those who experience it, the message is clear. You are not welcome here, and your modern tools are worthless against the power of the mountain. The most chilling stories from Mount Emei are not just about disorientation or broken equipment. They are about people who walk into the mist and are never seen again. Over the years, the region around the vortex has become known as a place where disappearances happen with unsettling frequency. These are not always reckless tourists who wander off a trail. They are often experienced locals, knowledgeable soldiers, and seasoned geologists who are well prepared for the mountain's challenges. Yet, they vanish without a trace. Search parties are launched, combing the dense forests and treacherous ravines, but they find nothing. No body, no equipment, no sign of a struggle. One of the most famous cases involves a team of People's Liberation Army soldiers who were conducting a routine training exercise in the 1970s. They were disciplined, fit, and highly trained in survival and navigation. As they passed through the area believed to be the vortex, a thick, unnatural fog rolled in, enveloping them completely. When the mist finally cleared, a number of the soldiers were simply gone. Their comrades searched for days, but the missing men had vanished as if they had been plucked from the face of the earth. The official explanation was sparse, but the story entered local lore as another dark chapter in the mountain's history. These disappearances defy logical explanation. In most cases of missing persons in the wilderness, search and rescue teams eventually find some clue: a piece of clothing, a footprint, a campsite. But on Mount Emei, the trail often goes completely cold. It's as if the individuals ceased to exist the moment they stepped into the vortex. This lack of evidence is what fuels the more supernatural theories. Did they fall into a hidden crevice, perfectly concealed by the terrain? Or did something more bizarre happen? The silence from the mountain is deafening, offering no answers, only deepening the mystery and the grief of those left behind. The fear of vanishing is a primal one, and it hangs heavy in the air around the vortex. It transforms the beautiful, misty landscape into something menacing. Every shadow could be a threat, every gust of wind could be a warning. The forest, which should be a place of life, becomes a potential tomb. The stories of the disappeared serve as a stark and terrifying reminder of the mountain's power. They are a caution against hubris, a message that no matter how prepared or experienced you are, there are forces in this world that are beyond our control and comprehension. On Mount Emei, the mist can give and the mist can take away. Long before scientists and explorers tried to explain the phenomena of Mount Emei, the local people had their own understanding. For generations, they have passed down stories that speak not of magnetic fields, but of something far more ancient and mystical. They believe the vortex is a spiritual trap or a demon gate. They see it as a place where the boundaries between the physical world and the spirit realm are weak, allowing for passage between the two. The strange occurrences are not random anomalies. They are the deliberate actions of spirits, both benevolent and malevolent, that inhabit this sacred ground. According to these beliefs, the disorientation and confusion felt by visitors are intentionally caused by spirits guarding the area. They are meant to deter mortals from intruding upon a sacred and potentially dangerous space. The local legends often tell of powerful mountain spirits or guardians who can create illusions, manipulate time, and lead people astray to protect the mountain's deepest secrets. Some even believe that the vortex acts as a gateway to another dimension or a celestial realm, and that those who disappear have not died but have been taken, either as a punishment for trespassing or as chosen ones deemed worthy of entering the spirit world. These cultural beliefs are deeply woven into the fabric of life around the mountain. Villagers perform rituals and leave offerings to appease the spirits, praying for safe passage for themselves and for pilgrims. They warn outsiders with a genuine sense of concern, not to be dramatic, but because they truly believe in the danger. To them, the spinning compasses and failing cameras are not technical glitches, they are clear signs that the spirits are present and active. This perspective provides a framework of meaning that science cannot, a way of understanding the inexplicable through a lens of respect and caution for the unseen world. While it's easy for an outsider to dismiss these stories as simple folklore, doing so ignores the wisdom they contain. These beliefs have been shaped by centuries of direct experience with the mountain's strangeness. They are a cultural response to a very real and persistent phenomenon. Whether you call it a spiritual trap or an electromagnetic anomaly, the effect is the same. It is a place of profound confusion and danger. The local legends, with their talk of guardians and gateways, offer a powerful and haunting explanation for the eerie vortex, reminding us that there are ways of knowing the world that go beyond our instruments and equations. When confronted with a mystery like the vile vortex, science seeks to find a rational, measurable cause. The most prominent scientific theory revolves around the idea of a powerful, localized electromagnetic anomaly. This hypothesis suggests that there are unusual geological deposits deep beneath this part of Mount Emei. These deposits, perhaps rich in iron, magnetite, or other magnetic minerals, could generate a complex and fluctuating magnetic field. Such a field would easily explain why traditional compasses spin out of control. The needle, which is designed to align with the Earth's stable magnetic field, would be overwhelmed by the stronger chaotic field emanating from the ground. This electromagnetic theory could also potentially explain some of the other reported phenomena. Strong and fluctuating magnetic fields can, in theory, interfere with sensitive electronic equipment. This might account for the draining batteries, malfunctioning cameras, and failing GPS units. The energy from the anomaly could disrupt the delicate circuits and digital processors that these devices rely on. Some researchers have even speculated that intense, low-frequency electromagnetic fields can have a direct impact on the human brain, potentially causing feelings of nausea, disorientation, paranoia, and even hallucinations. This could provide a scientific basis for the sickness and confusion experienced by hikers. However, this scientific explanation is not without its challenges. While magnetic anomalies exist in many places around the world, the sheer intensity and specific effects reported at Mount Emei are extreme. It would require a geological formation of a very specific and powerful nature to produce all the documented phenomena. Furthermore, the idea of time lapses is much harder to explain through this model. While disorientation can make time feel distorted, the consistent reports of watches showing hours passing in minutes are difficult to reconcile with a purely geological explanation. Science struggles to account for such a radical breakdown in the perceived flow of time. To truly test this theory, extensive geological and magnetic surveys would be needed. Scientists would have to venture into the heart of the vortex with magnetometers, spectrum analyzers, and other sensitive instruments. Such an expedition would be fraught with the very dangers it seeks to explain. The equipment itself might fail, and the researchers could fall victim to the same disorientation that has plagued others. For now, the electromagnetic anomaly remains the leading scientific hypothesis, a plausible but unproven explanation for the mountain's strange behavior. It offers a tantalizing glimpse of a natural force powerful enough to mimic the supernatural. Beyond geology and spirits, there is another fascinating and complex theory: the power of the human mind. This perspective suggests that the events at Mount Emei could be, at least in part, a psychological phenomenon. One possibility is mass hysteria, also known as a collective delusion. This happens when a group of people, under extreme stress and influenced by a shared belief, begin to experience similar physical or emotional symptoms. In the case of the 1990 hikers, they were in a remote, intimidating environment. They were likely aware of the mountain's spooky reputation. The initial sickness of one member could have triggered a chain reaction of panic and suggestion throughout the group. The power of suggestion is a formidable force. Once the idea of a vortex with strange properties is planted in the mind, people may begin to interpret ordinary events through that lens. The mist is no longer just fog. It's an unnatural, menacing presence. A moment of forgetfulness becomes a sinister time lapse. This is not to say the hikers were lying or making things up. Their fear, nausea, and confusion were very real to them. But these experiences could have been generated by their own minds, amplified by the group dynamic and the eerie, isolating environment. The legend becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Another related theory involves environmental factors causing hallucinations. Certain types of mold or fungus, which could thrive in the damp, misty forests of Mount Emei, can release spores that have psychoactive properties when inhaled. Similarly, low-frequency infrasound, sound waves below the range of human hearing, can be generated by wind or geological activity. Studies have shown that infrasound can cause feelings of unease, dread, and even visual and auditory hallucinations. It's conceivable that a combination of these environmental triggers could be responsible for the bizarre sensory experiences reported within the vortex. However, the psychological explanation also has its limits. While it can account for the subjective feelings of fear and disorientation, it struggles to explain the objective, physical evidence. Mass hysteria does not make a compass needle spin wildly. Suggestion cannot drain a fully charged camera battery in an instant. While the power of the mind is undoubtedly a factor in how people experience and interpret these events, It seems unlikely to be the sole cause. The mystery of Mount Emei is likely a complex interplay between the environment, our technology, and our own psychology. The mind may be part of the puzzle, but it is not the entire picture. When scientific and psychological theories fall short, we are left to consider the possibility that something truly paranormal is at work. This perspective embraces the idea that the vile vortex is exactly what the legends say it is, a place where the rules of our reality do not apply. This is the realm of high strangeness, where we entertain ideas that lie outside the boundaries of conventional science. One such idea is that the vortex is an interdimensional portal, a gateway to another place or time. This could explain the sudden disappearances and the bizarre time lapses. People aren't just getting lost, they are stepping through a doorway into somewhere else. This theory posits that the strange energy of the area is the result of two dimensions bleeding into one another. The spinning compasses and failing electronics could be caused by the laws of physics from another reality interfering with our own. The distorted photographs might be capturing brief, partial glimpses into this other world. This is a mind-bending concept, but it offers a comprehensive, if unprovable, explanation for all the reported phenomena. It fits the feeling described by so many visitors that the place feels wrong, as if the very fabric of reality is thin and unstable. Another paranormal theory suggests the presence of a non-human intelligence. This could be the spirits of local legend, or it could be something else entirely, an elemental force, an ultra-terrestrial entity, or even an alien presence. According to this view, the events are not random. They are controlled and deliberate. The force is intelligent and may be studying, toying with, or actively repelling human visitors. This would explain the feeling of being watched and the seemingly targeted nature of the phenomena. It turns the vortex from a simple natural anomaly into the territory of a powerful, unseen other. Of course, these paranormal theories are impossible to prove with our current scientific methods. They require a leap of faith, an acceptance that there are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in our philosophy. But for a mystery as persistent and strange as the vile vortex, we must keep an open mind. To dismiss these possibilities out of hand is to ignore the wealth of anecdotal evidence and the deep cultural beliefs surrounding the mountain. The paranormal perspective remains a compelling, if unsettling, piece of the puzzle, a testament to the enduring power of mysteries that defy easy answers. We have journeyed into the heart of a profound mystery. We've explored the sacred slopes of Mount Emei, a place of serene beauty and unsettling secrets. We've recounted the harrowing tale of the 1990 hikers who stumbled into a world of sickness, confusion, and lost time. We've seen how modern technology, our trusted guide in the wilderness, becomes useless within the vortex's grasp. The spinning compasses and glitching cameras serve as a stark reminder that some forces of nature, or the supernatural, are beyond our control. The stories of those who vanished into the mist leave a permanent chill, a testament to the mountain's ultimate power. We have weighed the different explanations, each offering a piece of a larger, incomplete puzzle. The local people, with their centuries of wisdom, warn of a spiritual trap, a gateway guarded by ancient spirits. This is a story of caution and respect for the unseen. Science offers a more grounded yet still incomplete theory of a powerful electromagnetic anomaly, a geological quirk that wreaks havoc on instruments and perhaps even the human mind. And then there is the power of psychology, the possibility that fear and suggestion can create a reality all their own. Each of these lenses gives us a different view, but none of them show us the whole picture. The truth of the vile vortex remains elusive, hidden within the swirling fogs of the mountain. Perhaps the answer is a combination of all these theories. Maybe a real electromagnetic anomaly creates physical effects, which are then interpreted through the lens of local folklore and amplified by human fear into a terrifying ordeal. In this view, the phenomenon is a perfect storm of geology, culture, and psychology. The mountain provides the stage, the legends provide the script, and our own minds become the actors in a drama of profound disorientation and fear. This synthesis seems plausible, yet it still doesn't fully satisfy the deepest questions. In the end, we are left where we began, with a mystery, and perhaps that is how it should be. Some places on this earth are not meant to be fully understood or conquered. They exist to challenge our assumptions, to push the boundaries of our knowledge, and to remind us that there is still magic and wonder left in the world. The vile vortex of Mount Emei continues to guard its secrets, its eerie silence and swirling mists an open invitation to the curious and the brave. The question of what truly lies within its depths lingers in the air, as cold and persistent as the mountain fog itself. The expedition is never truly over.